Hello, lovelies. How are you today? We're going to talk about a subject that's long overdue on this podcast, something that affects everything, your confidence, your intimacy, and your pleasure. And that's your relationship with your body. Because the truth is, how you feel about your body shapes your entire experience of life. Your body is where pleasure happens. It's not just something you look at, it's the place you live in. Every sensation, every touch, every intimate moment is felt through your body. And yet, most of us have been taught to be at war with our bodies, constantly striving to fix, quote unquote, something that was never broken. That's why today we're going to unpack all of this so that you can start reclaiming the relationship you deserve to have with your body. Because this is not just about body image, it's about undoing the damage, unlearning the shame, and finally feeling at home in yourself. I want to start with a bit of my own journey because I have not always been where I am today. For decades, I struggled immensely with body image. I've been diagnosed with PCOS, endometriosis, and lipedema, conditions that, among other things, cause weight gain, extreme bloating, water retention, chronic inflammation, exhaustion, mood swings, and diseased fat cells that don't leave with diet or exercise. So trust me when I say I know what it's like to feel like my body isn't working. I know what it's like to believe that my body is holding me back from the life I want to live. At one point, I gained 20 kilos because of my health issues. That's over 40 pounds. And for 5 years, I waited before putting myself out there. 5 years. I genuinely believed that my body was worthy of some level of affection, but not lust. Somehow I thought no man could truly desire my body. And a hot sex life was always something I placed among the most important things in a relationship. So you can see my dilemma. I was terrified that if someone fell for me, they would have to tolerate my body, but not truly want me. I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but that was the narrative in my brain. And yet, here I am today in the happiest relationship of my life, feeling loved, adored, cherished, but also sexy, alive, and fully desired. My partner looks at me like a cartoon character drooling over a steak. And we have the hottest, most passionate sex life ever. And guess what? I haven't lost a single kilo. What changed? My mindset. I stopped waiting to love my body before living my life. I stopped believing the lie that I had to fix myself before I could experience love, intimacy, and pleasure. And this is the exact work we do inside Pleasured, my coaching program, where we undo the conditioning that's kept you stuck so you can reclaim your pleasure, confidence, and full body yes to life. Now, let's talk about how your body image impacts your intimacy. If you don't feel good in your body, it shapes everything in intimacy. You hesitate to initiate, you cover yourself up, you avoid certain positions, you pose during sex, focusing on how you look instead of how you feel. You turn off the lights. You stay in your head worrying about how bad you think you look instead of enjoying the moment. And it doesn't just affect confidence, it directly impacts your libido. Many women struggle to want sex when they don't feel like they look good. Why? Because we've been socialized to see ourselves as objects of desire. For centuries, we've been taught that our worth is tied to how attractive we are, how pleasing we look, how much we fit into an external ideal. Meanwhile, most men don't have that problem. They can enjoy sex whether they feel attractive that day or not. Because unlike us, men haven't been socialized to be chosen based on their looks, at least not to the same degree we have. Women, on the other hand, we've been taught that before we can experience pleasure, we must first earn the right to feel sexy. That before we deserve pleasure, we must look the part. And this is exactly why so many women struggle with desire. We're waiting to feel attractive before we allow ourselves to feel turned on. And this conversation goes beyond just body image and effed up beauty standards imposed by society. For some of us, our relationship with our body has been shaped by real pain. Maybe you're dealing with health issues like chronic pain, inflammation, an illness that changes how you experience your body. Maybe your body doesn't perform the way you wish it did. Perhaps you struggle with fertility issues, disabilities, postpartum recovery. Maybe trauma has made you feel like your body isn't a safe place to be. This could be sexual abuse, medical trauma, stillbirth, or anything that has disconnected you from trusting your body. So when people say, just love yourself, that can feel not just unhelpful, but impossible. Which brings me to my next point, the pressure to love your body and why it's not always helpful. You've probably heard the phrase, you have to love yourself before someone else can love you. And honestly, not only do I think it's not fundamentally true, but it puts way too much pressure on us. For the longest time, I tortured myself trying to change my body because it didn't look the way society told me it should look. And then I tortured myself some more for not loving myself the way self-love movements told me I should. Don't get me wrong, I think self-love is beautiful. But when it becomes an obligation, one more thing we have to get right, it feels exhausting. I want to offer you a more realistic and empowering approach to self-love. One of the biggest breakthroughs I had was understanding this. Loving your body doesn't mean loving every part of it all day, every day. Now, let me say that again because I really want it to sink in. Loving your body doesn't mean loving every part of it all day, every day. Think about your relationships with people you love. You can love your kids to death and still want to strangle them sometimes. You can adore your partner and still get angry at them at times. It's the same thing with your body. You don't have to be in a constant state of worship to love it. You can love your body deeply and unconditionally and still experience moments where you don't understand it or where you wish things were different. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is to love your body enough that your negative thoughts and insecurities don't take control of your life and experience of pleasure. And trust me, even when you get there, self-doubt still creeps in at times. Yesterday, for example, I was at Pilates, I was bloated, my hair and skin felt all wrong. And being the biggest woman in the room felt hard. After class, I had a 1 minute meltdown where I cried. And then I reminded myself, nothing is wrong with my body. It's just societal standards messing with my head. I apologized to my body for feeling shame about it. And I told my body, I love you and I appreciate you. And then I just went on with my day. Because I now know that having moments of insecurities is part of the 50-50 of life. It doesn't define me. It doesn't mean that something is actually wrong with my body. And it also doesn't mean that I have failed at loving my body. You know, all the self-love advocates, influencers, and gurus out there who tell you they love their bodies, a lot of them fake it. They pretend to love themselves in a way that isn't realistic. And that creates pressure on the rest of us to achieve some unattainable, flawless version of self love. But the ones who are truly honest about their journey, they have learned to love their bodies enough, enough to lead their life instead of letting their insecurities lead them. Because no one, absolutely no one, basks in complete admiration of every inch of their body all the time. And if they say they do, they're faking it. Okay, let's make this actionable. Because if you've been listening to this podcast, you know by now that I'm all about real practical tools. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to stand naked in front of a mirror and repeat nice things to yourself. I don't think affirmations fundamentally work. And if you've been struggling with your body, forcing love isn't the answer. The most powerful way to shift your relationship with your body is through gratitude. So, for the next 3 weeks, I invite you to try this simple daily practice. Each day, name 3 things your body has done for you. They don't have to be big. The goal is to start noticing and appreciating your body beyond just how it looks or how you wish it would perform. Examples can be, I'm grateful for the way my skin soaked in the warmth of the sun today, or the way my arms hugged someone I love, or the way my lungs filled with air and kept me alive throughout the day without me even thinking about it. Gratitude is your doorway to love. You don't have to force adoration, just start with appreciation. And if you're ready to stop feeling trapped by negative thoughts about your body, so you can finally feel confident, free, and fully enjoy sex, this is exactly what we do inside Pleasured, my 90-day coaching program. Imagine this, feeling sexy and desirable without changing a single thing about your body. Moving through the world without constantly second guessing how you look. Actually enjoying sex instead of being stuck in your head. And trusting your body again, not feeling at war with it because of past trauma, illness, or how it should perform. Your body was never the problem. Your conditioning is. And inside Pleasured, we undo that conditioning together. You'll get coaching with me where we break through the limiting beliefs, conditioning, and insecurities that have kept you disconnected from your body so that you can finally feel confident, free, and at home in yourself. You'll get video teachings that go beyond just love yourself and teach you exactly how to rewire your brain so you stop seeing your body as a problem and start embracing it as yours. You also get workbooks and journals that don't just shift your mindset, but create real, lasting change in how you see, treat, and experience your body. And also guided audios and meditations that bring you back into your body, not as something to judge, but to experience, love, and fully live in. Are you ready? Join me inside Pleasured. The link is in the show notes. All right, lovelies, that's it for today. If this episode resonated, please take a second to rate this podcast. This helps me get the message across to more women who need to hear this. Also, share it with a friend. Thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.